Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to the Learning Lab, the show where we take big, sometimes confusing English topics and break them all the way down so that anyone can understand them. I'm James, and as always, I am so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Jenny. And James, before we even start, I have to ask, did you sleep well last night? Because today's topic is very, very relevant to that question.
Oh, funny you should ask, Jenny. Actually, okay, so this is already going to be a problem because I had the wildest dream last night, and I was literally thinking about it on the way here. Like, I was on a train, right? But the train was also somehow a shopping mall, and I was trying to find a shoe store, but every time I got close to it, the store just disappeared.
Of course it did. That is the most classic dream thing ever. The thing you want is always just out of reach.
Right? And then I woke up and I thought, wait, I don't even need new shoes. My brain is just out here making up problems for me while I sleep. Very helpful. Very kind of you, brain. Thank you.
Truly, your brain is doing its best.
It really is trying. Okay, so today we are talking all about dreams, but not in a sleepy, mysterious, philosophical way. Well, okay, maybe a little bit of that. But mostly, we're talking about how to talk about dreams in English. The vocabulary, the phrases, the grammar. Everything you need to describe your dreams clearly and naturally.
And this is actually a topic that comes up a lot in real conversation. Think about it. You wake up, you have a crazy dream, and you want to tell your friend or your classmate or your coworker about it. But suddenly, you don't know how to explain it in English. You know what happened in the dream, but the words just aren't there.
Exactly. And that's such a frustrating feeling, right? You have this whole story in your head and you just can't get it out. So today, we're going to fix that. We're going to give you all the tools you need.
Let's start with the very basics, the most simple, most important phrase. When you want to tell someone about a dream, how do you start? James, what do you think the most common way to start is?
Oh, easy. You say, I had a dream last night. That's it. That's the phrase. 4 words. Simple, clear, everyone understands it immediately. I had a dream. Past tense, had. Because the dream already happened. It's done. It's over. Your brain finished the movie, and now you're reporting on it.
Yes, and that's a really important grammar point. We use the past tense when we talk about dreams, because dreams happen while we sleep, which is already in the past. So you wouldn't say, I have a dream last night. You would say, I had a dream last night.
And now everyone is thinking about Martin Luther King Jr., right? Because, of course, I have a dream is one of the most famous speeches in history. But in that case, that's a different kind of dream. That's a dream about the future, about hope, about what you want the world to look like. That's a dream as a wish. We'll talk about that kind of dream too a little later. But first, the sleeping kind.
Yes, let's stay focused, James.
Sorry. Okay, so I had a dream last night. That's your starter, your opening line, your once upon a time for dream stories.
Now, there are some other ways to say this too, and they all sound very natural in conversation. You can say, I had the weirdest dream last night, or I had this really strange dream, or even just, oh my gosh, I dreamed about you last night, which, by the way, can be a very surprising thing to say to someone.
Yes, if you say that to someone, be ready for them to have a very intense reaction, like, wait, what happened? Was it good? Was it bad? Am I in trouble?
Exactly. The word dreamed about you puts a lot of pressure on a conversation very quickly.
It does. Okay, so I had a dream, I had the weirdest dream, I dreamed about something. Those are your basic openers. Now let's talk about how you describe what actually happened inside the dream, because this is where it gets a little tricky, right?
Right, because dreams are weird. They don't follow normal rules. Things change suddenly, people appear and disappear. You might be in your house, and then suddenly you're on a beach, and you're not even surprised about it in the dream, but when you try to explain it to someone, it sounds absolutely insane.
Oh, 100%. I feel like every time I try to tell someone a dream, I get about 3 sentences in, and then I go, okay, I know this sounds crazy, but just trust me.
And that actually is a very useful phrase to know. I know this sounds crazy, but, or I know it doesn't make sense, but in the dream it made total sense. People say this all the time when they're describing dreams.
Yes, because you have to give the other person permission to just accept the weirdness. Like, look, I'm not going to explain why I was flying over a city made of chocolate. I'm just going to tell you what happened next, okay? Okay.
A city made of chocolate. James, that sounds amazing, actually.
It was. I don't think I've had that dream, but I want to now. I'm going to try to dream that tonight.
Okay, so let's give our listeners some really useful phrases for describing what happened inside a dream. These are phrases you can use to move the story forward. Things like, and then suddenly, that's a great one. And then suddenly, I was in a different place.
Yes, suddenly is your best friend when you're talking about dreams, because dreams change suddenly all the time, without warning. So that word fits perfectly. And then suddenly I was at my old school. And then suddenly there was a giant dog. And then suddenly I could fly.
Another good one is out of nowhere, as in out of nowhere this person appeared, or out of nowhere the whole scene changed. It means something happened with no warning, no explanation, just boom, there it is.
And out of nowhere sounds very native, very natural. If you use that phrase, people would think, wow, their English sounds really good. It's one of those little phrases that just elevates the whole sentence.
Absolutely. Now, here's something interesting. When we tell dream stories, we often switch between past tense and present tense, and this is actually okay. It's called the narrative present, when you're telling an exciting story and you use present tense to make it feel more alive, more immediate.
Oh, that's such a good point. Like, you might say, so I was in this big house, right? And then I walk into a room, and there's this huge mirror on the wall. And I look in the mirror, and it's not my face. See, I switched to present tense there at the end to make it more exciting.
Ooh, okay, that was creepy. Well done.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. But yes, that switching is totally normal. It happens naturally when you're telling any exciting story, so don't worry too much about it. Just go with whatever feels right.
Let's talk about some vocabulary now, specific words that are really useful when you're describing dreams. The first one is vivid. V-I-V-I-D. A vivid dream is a dream that feels very real, very clear, very detailed, like you can remember every color, every sound, every feeling.
I had such a vivid dream last night. I still remember everything about it. That's a beautiful sentence. And if you say that to someone, they will immediately be curious. They'll want to know more. Vivid is a power word for dream stories.
Another one is lucid. A lucid dream is a dream where you know you're dreaming while you're still inside the dream. So you're asleep, you're in the dream, but you think, wait, this is a dream. I'm dreaming right now. And some people can actually control what happens in the dream when they're lucid.
Okay, can we just stop for a second? Because lucid dreaming is the coolest thing. Like the idea that you can fly in your dream on purpose, or go to any place you want, or talk to anyone because you know it's a dream so you can do anything. That is genuinely incredible. Has it ever happened to you, Jenny?
Once, I think. I was in a dream and I thought, this feels too strange. This must be a dream. And then I woke up almost immediately. Like my brain went, oh, she figured it out. Abort, abort.
Your brain panicked. It was like, she knows, shut it down. Oh, that is too funny.
My brain is very private, apparently. It doesn't want me watching.
That's fair. Okay, what other vocabulary do we have?
Okay, so we have nightmare. Everyone knows this word, but let's make sure we're using it right. A nightmare is a scary dream, a dream that frightens you, that makes you feel unsafe or anxious. And a very common phrase is, I had a nightmare last night, or I woke up from a nightmare. And sometimes people use nightmare to describe a bad real-life situation too, like the traffic this morning was an absolute nightmare.
Yes, nightmare is one of those words that works both for sleeping and for waking life. Like, the exam was a nightmare. That meeting was a nightmare. My morning was a complete nightmare. So it's super useful in many different situations.
And then there's the phrase, I can't remember my dream, or the dream is fading. Oh, I love this one, because you know that feeling when you wake up and you're trying to hold on to the dream, but it's just slipping away like water through your fingers.
Oh, that is the worst feeling. You wake up and you go, okay, I remember there was a person and we were somewhere and something important happened. And then 2 minutes later, it's just gone, just completely gone.
Actually, there's some science behind this. Dreams are stored in short-term memory when you first wake up, and if you don't actively try to remember them or write them down, they can disappear within 5 to 10 minutes. The brain basically decides this information is not important for survival and just deletes it.
Wait. Your brain just deletes your dreams? That feels so rude. Like, I put a lot of emotional energy into that dream, brain. I was scared. I was flying. I had feelings. And you just delete it? No backup? No recycle bin?
No recycle bin, sorry. That's why some people keep a dream journal, a notebook right next to their bed, and they write down everything they remember the moment they wake up before the dream disappears.
I've always wanted to do that, and I never have. I feel like my dream journal would just say, something happened. There was a person. There was a place. Felt weird. Woke up. Every single page.
That's still more than most people write. Okay, let's talk about some more phrases now. What about recurring dreams? Dreams that happen again and again.
Oh, yes. I keep having the same dream. Or I have this recurring dream where recurring, recurring, means it comes back. It repeats itself. And recurring dreams are actually really common. A lot of people have them, like showing up to school and not knowing there was a test, or falling from somewhere high, or losing your teeth, which is apparently one of the most common dreams in the whole world.
Yes, the teeth dream. So many people have that. And there are actually researchers who study what recurring dreams might mean, like what they say about your stress levels or your emotions. The teeth dream, for example, is often connected to feelings of anxiety or losing control in waking life.
Okay, how do I put this? That's either very fascinating or very terrifying, and I can't decide which one.
Both. Definitely both.
Yeah, both is right. Okay, so we've got recurring dream. Great phrase. What else?
Let's talk about how to react when someone tells you about their dream, because conversations go two ways, right? You need to know how to respond too. If your friend is telling you a dream story, what are some natural things to say?
Oh, this is so good. Okay, so the most classic reaction is just, no way. Like someone says, and then suddenly I was on Mars, and you go, no way. It means you're surprised. You can't believe it. It's amazing or shocking.
Or, that's so weird, said in a friendly, curious way, not an insulting way. When someone tells you a strange dream, that's so weird is actually a compliment. It means their dream was interesting enough to be surprising.
And then you've got what happened next, which is the golden reaction, because it tells the person, I'm listening, I'm interested, keep going. It's a gift. If someone is telling you a dream story and you say, what happened next, they will love you.
Absolutely. And if the dream was scary, you might say, oh, that sounds terrifying. Or, were you scared? Which invites them to talk about how they felt, not just what happened.
Which brings us to feelings, because dream stories aren't just about events. They're also about emotions, and describing the feeling of a dream is just as important as describing what happened in it.
Right. So some useful phrases, I felt so scared in the dream, or I woke up feeling confused, or when I woke up, I felt a strange sense of sadness, even though I couldn't remember why, or my personal favorite, I woke up and I was so relieved it was just a dream.
Just a dream. That phrase, it was just a dream, said while you're lying in bed catching your breath after a nightmare. That might be one of the most comforting phrases in the whole English language. It's okay. It was just a dream. You're safe. You're awake.
That really is comforting, yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about one more really important thing before we wrap up, and that's the other meaning of dream. Because in English, we use dream to mean something we really hope for, something we want very badly for our future.
Yes, the dream as a wish. This is huge in English. We say things like, my dream is to travel the world. She's living her dream. He followed his dream and became a musician. Don't give up on your dreams.
And this kind of dream is always positive. It's always about something wonderful, something meaningful. You don't say, my dream is to do my laundry. That's just a task. A dream is big. A dream is something that fills your heart.
Though honestly, on some days, doing the laundry does feel like a dream.
True. After a long week, a clean, folded pile of laundry, that is absolutely a dream. Okay, I take it back.
Some really useful phrases with this meaning. Dream job. That's a job you would absolutely love to have, your perfect career. Dream home, the house you've always imagined living in. Dream vacation, the trip you've always wanted to take.
And you can use dream as an adjective in front of almost any noun to mean the best possible version of that thing. Like, that restaurant was my dream restaurant. She's my dream travel partner. It's very flexible, very natural in everyday English.
And then there are phrasal expressions like beyond your wildest dreams. This means something is even better than the best thing you could ever imagine. Like, the concert was beyond my wildest dreams. It was so good, no dream could have prepared me for it.
Oh, I love that phrase. Beyond my wildest dreams. It sounds so dramatic and so good at the same time. Like you're saying, I dreamed big, and reality still beat my dream. That's a wonderful thing to be able to say.
And on the sadder side, shattered dreams or broken dreams, when something you really hoped for doesn't happen. She had to give up her dream, or the accident shattered his dreams of becoming a professional athlete. These phrases carry a lot of emotion.
Yeah, those are heavy phrases, but real, because sometimes life is hard, and you need the words to talk about that too.
Right. Okay, let's do a quick recap before we say goodbye. James, can you run through the key phrases for us?
Yes. Okay, ready? Here we go. For talking about sleeping dreams, I had a dream last night. I had the weirdest dream. I dreamed about you, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, it was so vivid. I had a lucid dream. I had a nightmare. I keep having this recurring dream. The dream is fading. I can't remember it.
And for reacting to someone else's dream, no way. That's so weird. What happened next? Were you scared? I'm so glad it was just a dream.
And for the dream as a wish, my dream is to dream job, dream home, dream vacation. She's living her dream beyond my wildest dreams. Don't give up on your dreams.
Beautiful. That is a really full toolkit for talking about dreams in English in all the ways that word gets used.
And honestly, dream stories are some of the best conversation starters out there because everyone has them. Everyone has had a strange one, and everyone is at least a little bit curious about what dreams actually mean.
Which we still don't fully know, by the way. Scientists and psychologists have been studying dreams for a long time, and there's still so much mystery around them. Why do we dream? What do dreams mean? Can they tell us something important about our minds? These are questions people are still actively researching.
And I think that mystery is part of what makes dreams so interesting to talk about. It's one of those topics where literally everyone is an expert on their own experience, but nobody fully understands the big picture.
That's a really nice way to put it, actually.
Thank you. I have my moments. Okay, friends, that is our episode for today. We really, truly hope that this helps you the next time you want to talk about a dream in English. Whether you're telling a funny story, a scary one, or sharing your biggest hopes for the future, you now have the words to do it.
And if you want to practice, here's a little challenge. Tonight, when you wake up, try to remember your dream. Write down 3 sentences about it in English. Just 3 sentences. Use the phrases we talked about today and see how it feels.
Yes, do the challenge. And if you're feeling brave, share your dream story in the comments. We absolutely love reading those. And who knows, maybe we'll feature some of them in a future episode.
That would actually be really fun.
So fun. Okay. Thank you so much for spending this time with us at the Learning Lab. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who's learning English. Leave us a comment, give us a rating, all of that good stuff. It really does help us reach more people.
And remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. Every new phrase you learn is one step forward. You're doing great, seriously.
You really are. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, sweet dreams, everyone. And I mean that literally.
Take care, everyone.